Good morning. Today we are going over your homework. It's going to be practice 10-5, dividing 3-digit by 1-digit numbers. We're going to look at number 1. Number 1 is 412 divided by 4. Our first step is going to be to see how many 4s are in 4. We're going to ignore this 1 and this 2 for now. There's just one 4 in 4. 4 minus 4 is 0, and you bring that 1 down. Now we're going to see how many 4s are in 1. This is tricky because there is no 4s in 1, so we will put a 0 up top. 0 times 4 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1, and we're going to bring down that 2, making 12. How many 4s are in 12 is going to be our next question. There are 3 4s in 12. 3 times 4 is 12. And 12 minus 12 is 0. So our answer is going to be 103 with no remainder. Alright, now we are moving on to number 2. Number 2 is 936 divided by 6. So first of all, we're going to look at how many 6s are in 9. Going to ignore that 36. There is 1 6 in 9. 6 times 1 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3. Then we are going to bring down this 3, which will make 33. Then we ask ourselves, how many 6s are in 33? The answer is going to be 5. 5 times 6 is 30. If we added one more 6 and it was 6 times 6, that would be 36 and too many. So 33 minus 30 is 3. Then you're going to choo-choo along and you're going to bring that 6 down, just like you did to the 3 earlier. Now you're bringing the 6 down. Then you're going to find out how many 6s are in 36, which I gave away earlier. It's going to be 6. 6 times 6 is exactly 36. So then when you subtract, there is 0, a remainder of 0 again, so your answer is just going to be that 156. Number 3 is 798 divided by 7. First, we are looking to see how many 7s are in 7. This is easy. There is 1 7 in 7. 7 times 1 is 7. And you subtract that 0. You bring that 9 down. Then you are finding out how many 7s are in 9. The answer is 1 again. 1 times 7 is 7. You are subtracting that from 9. 9 minus 7 is 2. Then you are bringing down this 8 just as you brought down the 9. Bring the 8 all the way down. Then you are finding out how many 7s are in 28. There are 4. 4 times 7 is 28 exactly. 28 minus 28 is 0, giving you a remainder of nothing, and your answer is 114. Number 4 is 806 divided by 7. Our first step is see how many 7s are in 8. There is 1 7 in 8. 7 times 1 is 7. You are subtracting that from 8, which is 1. You're going to bring down that 0, making it 10. And you're going to figure out how many 7s are in 10. There is just 1 again. 1 times 7 is 7. Subtract that from that 10, giving you 3. Then you're going to bring down this 6 just as you brought down the 0. Remember, you're only bringing one digit at a time down. This is going to make it 36. How many 7s are in 36? And the answer is 5. 5 times 7 is 35. And you subtract 35 from 36, giving you 1. There's nothing more to bring down, so that gives you a remainder of 1. So your answer is 115, remainder 1, or 115, 1 over 7. Alright, I'm going to have you check 5 through 8 on your own. We are moving on to number 9. Number 9. A train can hold 444 people in rows with 4 seats. How many 4-seat rows are there? So the two numbers we are going to be using are 444 as well as the number 4. 444 people and rows with 4 seats. So 4 seats. So we are trying to find out how many 4-seat rows can seat 444 people. So we're going to be dividing 444 divided by 4. We're using the 444 people and the 4-seat rows. There is how many 4s in 4? There is just 1. 1 times 4 is that 4. You're subtracting, of course, that is 0. Then you are going to bring down just the next 4. And how many 4s in 4 again? And there is just 1. 1 times 4 is 4. You're going to bring down that 4. You're going to subtract 4 from 4, which is 0 again. You're going to bring down that last 4. And that's going to be 4 times, how many 4s are in 4 again? There is 1 4 in 4. 4 minus 4, again, is 0, giving you a remainder of 0. And so your answer is going to be 111 for that one. All right, number 10. Number 10 is a song has 540 beats. If the song is 3 minutes long, how many beats per minute does the song have? So we are dealing with 540 beats and 3 minutes. So we're going to look at this as this is the whole song with 540 beats and 3 minutes. So we're going to split the minutes up, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 3 minutes. So since we're splitting this 540 into 3 sections, we're going to be dividing 540 divided by 3. First step is going to be to see how many 3s there are in 5. There is just 1 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract that from 5 and you get 2. Your next step is going to be to bring that 4 down, making that 24. And you're going to try to figure out how many 3s there are in 24. There are 8. 8 times 3 is exactly 24. Bring that down, and you're going to bring down this 0. You might think now here that you are done because it's 0 and 0, but you have one more step because you're trying to figure out how many 3s there are in 0. Here is where it's tricky. There are 0 3s in 0. So you write that. You have to put that 0 up there. You have to ask yourself how many 3s are in 0. There's 0, so you have to put that up there. 0, of course, minus 0 is 0, and that would be your remainder, which is none. So your answer is 180. 180, and then how many beats per minute does the song have? So you're going to put beats per minute. BPM stands for beats per minute. Number 11, geometry. This is a geometry question. A circle has 360 degrees. If the circle is divided in half, how many degrees does each half measure? So how many degrees in each half is what we're looking at. So first of all, we have to think to ourselves, what does in half mean? If you split a pizza in half and give one half to your sister or brother and one half to yourself, you are splitting it in how many parts? You're splitting it in 2 parts. So we are splitting. Whenever we split something, it means we're dividing it. So we're going to do 360 divided by 2. Our first question is going to be how many 2's in 3? There is 1 2 in 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. Bring down that 6, making that 16. You're going to ask to yourself, how many 2's in 16? There are 8. 8 times 2 is exactly 16, making that 0. You're going to bring down that 0. This is what I was talking to you about in number 10, because you might think you are done, but you are not done, because you want to know how many 2's there are in 0. There are 0 2's, so you write that on top of your house. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0, and now you are finished. Your answer is 180. But we are not finished because the answer is not just 180. It is 180 degrees. Make sure you have your unit in there. Number 12. Harvey has 513 stamps. He places an equal number in 3 stamp books. How many stamps are in each book? If you look over to the right here, I have written already 513 stamps and 3 books. Those are the 2 numbers you're pulling out. You're going to be dividing 513 by 3 because there are 3 books. Just like we split up those minutes earlier, we are splitting up the books the same way. 1, 2, 3. And you're splitting up those 513 stamps between the 3 books. So 513 divided by 3. You're going to ask yourself, how many 3's are in 5? There is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring on that 1 down. How many 3's are in 21? This goes in perfectly. There are 7. 7 times 3 is 21, which 21 minus 21, of course, is 0. Then you're going to bring down that next digit, which is a 3. And you're going to find out how many 3's are in 3. This one is easy peasy. It's going to just be 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract 3 from 3 and you get 0, no remainder. So your answer is going to be 171. But we are not done yet. Remember your unit. So we have 171 stamps in each book. Alright, we are going to skip number 13. Hopefully you guys can check that on your own, just like the last few questions we've been doing. Number 14. This is different because if you guys tried to solve it, you didn't have to. Nicole has 369 tea bags. There are 3 different flavors of tea. What information do you need to find how many tea bags Nicole has of each flavor? So let's do this like the questions we've been doing in writing. We're going to cross off the wrong answer that you think it could be. Nicole has 369 tea bags. So do we need to know B? No. They just told us that there were 369 tea bags. So you can cross off that number. There are 3 different flavors of tea. So do we need to know the number of flavors written here? Nope, we do not, because we know there are 3 different kinds. Then you need to ask yourself about C or D, because these are your possible answers. D, if there is an equal number of tea bags for each flavor, or if a tea bag can be divided into fourths. So are they asking us anything about fourths in here, and are they asking us about equal numbers of tea bags for each flavor? Well, our question has nothing to do with if a tea bag can be divided into fourths, because we are not dividing the tea bags in fourths. We are dividing them into thirds. So that will not be our answer. Our answer is D, if there is an equal number of tea bags for each flavor, because equal is the key word in any division story problem. If you're not dividing them equally, then you can't really divide them properly. So you're always looking for, if something says, if any of these, you will see that it says equal in almost all of them. Equal number, equal. In half. So in half, you're going to have equal halves, because you can't divide it in half if it's not equal. So as you see in all those other questions, equal is the key question. You know you're dividing if it says equal in it. We are going to skip number 15. It's just like many of the others we did before, except this one has multiple choice. I expect to have you show your work on that though, not just randomly pick a letter. Number 16, writing to explain. This one is different because it has 3 numbers. We got 242 DVDs, 2 shelves, and it each can hold 120 DVDs. So, which numbers are we going to use? Well, I think we all know that we're going to divide by 2. So I have made my lovely bookshelf over here with 1 shelf and 2 shelves. Alright, the problem comes when are we dividing 242 DVDs, or are we dividing 120 DVDs to a shelf? Since we don't know how many DVDs are on a shelf and if he needs to buy another one, but we do actually know how many DVDs there are. We are going to use 242 divided by 2. And if our answer turns out to be bigger than 120, then he will need to buy another shelf. And if it is less than 120 or 120, then he will not need to buy another shelf. So let's solve this one. How many 2's are in 2? There is 1. Sorry, my 2's a little weird there. 2 minus 2 is 0. Bring down that 4. And then how many 2's are in 4? There is 2 2's in 4. Subtract, and 2 times 2 is exactly 4. Subtract 4 from 4, that's 0. Bring down your last digit, that's a 2. This one is easy peasy. 2, how many 2's in 2 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2, and that is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. Our answer is going to be 121. Is 121 bigger than 120? Yes, it is. So he will need to buy another shelf. Yes. And I need you to explain by saying that there are, just like I just said, there are 121 books to a shelf and not 120. Sorry, DVDs to a shelf and not 120. Well, since you can't fit 121, you'll have 120 on each shelf, and then an extra 1 on each shelf. You'll have to put them on the top and lay them next to it. So there's going to be 120 on each shelf, and then 2 extra DVDs. So he'll have to have another shelf to put those 2 DVDs on. There's another way you could have done this. You could have done this without division. So if you've done it that way, then it's okay. I will show you the other way. Jeff has 242 DVDs and he has 2 shelves that can each hold 120. So what you could do is you could have added up 120 plus 120, 120 plus 120. you could have gotten 0 plus 0 is 0, 2 plus 2 is 4, 1 plus 1 is 2. So you could have gotten 240. And since this number, 240, the bookshelves, 120, 120, so they only fit 240, both of them, together. So, since 240 is smaller than 242, then obviously the DVDs will not fit on the shelf since there are 2 extra. Thanks for watching and have a great day.